planning to make my first feature-length film.
Like you said before, right? Because everyone watches the same content, there's like a high chance that everyone's gonna have the same idea. So what advice do you have for people that are like out there that want to maybe be different or stick out?
I do want to be able to pay my models at some point, pay my photographers.
Did you ever find a situation where people were making you doubt yourself or you were doubting yourself?
I go to a lot of old people homes out in
Thank you for finally coming on. It's actually been a funny journey. First time I asked you, you refused.
I did refuse. I don't like speaking about my art very much.
Yeah.
But then when you followed up and I met you in person, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. Like, I don't know, because I was also kind of like, I don't know, I was lost in the moment. I just was like, oh wait, damn, this is that person that I talked to. I need to actually get on the podcast because I really like what you do and I like the vibe. You also know one of my friends, you know, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually the one that told me to like interview you.
Oh, that's sick. That's so cool. Yeah, she's modeled for you.
Yeah. So once again, I don't know. Do you just want to tell them what you do? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Makena. I mostly do styling. So I started with just personal fit checks, and then I felt that the market for fit checks was just getting really oversaturated with TikTok, and I wanted my clothes and everything that I made to stand sort of like separately from my body and from myself. And so that's when I kind of decided to start with the production of it all. And so the first production I did was at this store called Arsema's Variety in Toronto. And this really sweet store owner, it's an Ethiopian shop that sells coffee and all these like vintage knickknacks and stuff. And I was there quite often for coffee, and I had met him and his wife and his daughter, and they're just like all so sweet. And so when I asked to do a project there, he was more than happy for me to just like bring my friends and shoot and use his space.
Okay. Wait, so what type of project was it?
It was just a photo shoot. It was just, I wanted to bring a bunch of my friends and all the pretty girls I know to wear my clothes and wear the stuff that I'd made. And yeah.
So that's clothes like this?
Clothes like this.
Well, what's the inspiration for clothes like this?
So the inspiration for my clothes comes from a lot of places. Firstly, I mean, the internet obviously is the easiest place. So just like mainstream things like TikTok and Instagram help, but then also looking at professional collections and big brands and big stylists and stuff and seeing what they make. I really like Jean-Paul Gaultier, and so a lot of my stuff is inspired by that. And then a lot of my work is also not inspired just by fashion, but by my life, by living in Kenya, and also living in Canada, and just like the cultural input.
You know, I was recently thinking about how, as Africans, we need to make a change in like our dress, especially because it's mostly influenced by like Western culture. So like, I don't know if you like saw something on the news recently, but like Burkina Faso, they recently like changed like their whole judicial like attire, and like they started wearing let's just say more traditional stuff, right? And that got me thinking. I was like, okay, damn, if we're like to, let's say, not even like the whole of Africa, but every African country individually decides to like say, okay, like designers in that country say, let's get together, let's try and come up with something different, something, you know, that's inspired by whatever we have going on, like in Zimbabwe, right? A big thing is totems, right? So in my head, I was like, damn, okay. So, I don't know, I have something for cloaks, right? So like a cloak, let's say there's a big thing with like animal skin, so like cow skin and all of that. It's like, let's say a cloak of like cow skin, but like, you know, the good designs, something like that. And that's something that really like sat with me, and I was like, okay. Then I saw your account, I was like, damn, she's actually like doing something that like I was actually thinking about, and that really resonated with me. And I think that resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it does, and I think it's really cool that it starts with the government as well, the one you were talking about, because I think decolonization can begin like with how you look, how you present yourself. Are you trying to affirm Western standards, or are you just trying to look like yourself? Yeah,
that's a big thing, looking like yourself.
Yeah.
Being yourself, actually. That's I don't know, do you feel like we're moving away from that? Do you think we're getting closer to that, people being themselves and embracing themselves?
I think people are embracing a false version of themselves a lot of the time, an internet version of themselves, kind of like an avatar sort of feeling. Sometimes you'll see people and you're like, I saw that TikTok. I know where you got your inspo for the things that you're doing from. And so, yeah, there's kind of that hard thing to bridge of like, am I embracing this like weird internet version of myself or the actual thing?
Okay. But take us back to like the beginning. Like, where did this start? Where did you gain this inspiration for making clothes or creative design or even just making films?
Yeah, so in my first year, when I first got to Toronto, I wanted to change. I wanted a big change. I hated high school so much. Being in Kenya was very tough the last couple years, and so
What city were you in, by the way?
I was in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to look completely different. I wanted to present myself different. I wanted the way people approached me and my conversations and the way people saw me to be different. And that starts with confidence, but also clothing and how you're presenting yourself. And people treat you how they think you deserve to be treated. And so I'm like, I want to look completely different. I didn't have the money for it. That was the thing. And it's not like my parents were giving me money to buy like a whole new wardrobe or anything. And so the thrift is where I started and where I got all my basics, and then I learned how to sew and got just like a mini sewing machine, and that's kind of where it began.
Okay, that's cool. Wait, so it came from like from a place of, okay, damn, I'm tired of this old life. I wanna now be my like independent self.
Yeah.
I think I went through the same thing, to be fair with you. Mine, it was unexpected though. Like, I came here wanting to like change, but like I fell into the same ways for some time. Then something happened that just like turned my life upside down, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, damn, this is actually what's going on in the world. I actually need to switch it up and do this and that. Okay, so you've now started this. What's the journey been like? What's the journey been like starting all of this? When did you first? You said you first started with the Ethiopian thing.
Yeah, in 2023. So then past that, all of 2024, I was just doing shoots for fun in different places. I realized that I could just go to talk to store owners, especially mom and pops and ethnic stores, are so down for community and understand supporting youth and just like helping people out. And so I'd go to stores and I'd just ask them, and I'd ask them about their life and their family and how they started their store, and really try to be as personable as possible. And then ask them if I could, and show them my work, and ask them if I could use their space. I was also making friends with new girls and new models in clubs and even on the street and just like in a bunch of places that I wanted to model, and also meeting different photographers that I wanted to work with and that I wanted to shoot my work. That was most of 2024. And then end of 2024, I did a big shoot in Nairobi at City Market, and that's probably my most popular one. That like kind of helped me out in terms of like reach, I guess.
Was it ever like difficult? Did you ever find a situation where people were making you doubt yourself, or you were doubting yourself?
No, because I was doing it for fun. Like people would always ask me, "Are you trying to get paid from it? Are you trying to like?" And it was just never that. I've always been an artist. It's always been a core part of my identity. I'm always going to make art. So being famous or being known was just like never my first goal. It's the people that I do know, do they see how talented I am? Like that's what is more important to me. And so it was never really about that to begin with, and it still isn't. I do it because I feel like it's who I am and what I want to be.
It's the same thing with me. Well, I would say in the beginning, you know, when you come to like a place like Canada, it's very hard to get a job. So you start looking at different ways to make money, and like, so I was like, okay, fine. I enjoy talking to people. What could I do that I actually enjoy, that resonates with me, that could possibly make me money, you know? So then I was like, okay, let me start a podcast. In fact, I started with a whole different idea. I wanted to do like a panel of people, you know, like Jubilee. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But then I was just like, nah, that didn't like resonate with me. And I was like, okay, let me interview people. And I have a friend, shout out to Liam Neezy, he was my first guest. But like, I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Would you be keen to, he's an artist, would you be keen to join me, right? He was like, okay, cool. And, you know, the whole basis was passion and inspiration. But as time went, you know, I don't know, I got to like a point where I'm like, okay, wait, what am I actually really doing this for? Do I want to do it for the money, or do I actually enjoy doing this? And I settled on the idea that, okay, fine, I want to inspire people, because the stories that you actually hear are like life-changing. Because you might not even see it, right? But like by you sitting here and like telling your story, someone else is like, damn, I wanted to do that. this is how she did it. Maybe I could do it like that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's literally like the way that I got into this whole scene. And it's been interesting. I've met interesting people. And also, like, you talked about the club, right? That's before I used to have like a big stigma against the club, but like it's actually a good place to like meet people.
It is. That's where I met Chris as well.
No, and like that specifically that place, like I
Yeah.
met so many people that I used to like talk to on Instagram, but like I was like, damn, so this is how people are actually doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So you've been doing this for fun, but like, have you ever like found any like challenges, hurdles in like trying to organize these things, or even creation of videos? Maybe lack of inspiration or something.
I'm always inspired, so inspiration is never an issue.
Yeah.
A hurdle I've faced is, even though I'm not trying to really be paid for this, I want to work separately. I want income to be a separate thing from my creative stuff. I do want to be able to pay my models at some point, pay my photographers. It just sucks asking artists and people to come on for free, and so many times. And so I do want to get to a point where I'm able to somehow pay my photographers, pay my models, if not even pay them, bring like lunch and have like a full set of like
Yeah.
food. And that would even make it easier for me to like do shoots that are like all day. Whereas when you're asking people to work for free and you're not bringing food, it's like a 2-3 hour window that you have. You can't ask people to do things for free for longer than that. And so that's my main hurdle right now. I think I'm gonna apply for like grants and things like that. But yeah, I want to get to a point where I can pay my.
Is that something you can do?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah, Canada has a lot of artist grants.
Really? I didn't actually know about that. See, when I found this place, I was like, okay, it's jackpot.
Yeah.
Since it's free, I can just do whatever I need to do. But okay, I didn't know that. I'm actually gonna try that out. See where it can go. Yeah, yes, please. Damn, but like actually, this country, the one thing I'll say is like it's really, especially Vancouver, it's really good. It's good for creatives.
Yeah.
It's a good space where people can really connect with each other, because everyone's like doing the same thing. They might not be doing the exact same thing, but like everyone's on their grind trying to maybe express themselves through whatever they're doing. So music, dancing, fashion or film. So that's really cool. Do you ever like? The problem with podcasts, sometimes you get lost.
Yeah.
In order to inspire as many people as possible, we ask that you subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share this with someone that you believe needs to hear our content. Do you ever like? The problem with podcasts, sometimes you get lost.
Yeah.
It's actually you really get lost. Okay, what about success? What's something that you're like really proud of that you've done so far?
Yeah, so I'm really proud of the reach that my collection in Kenya got, just because to me it was such like a local thing. It was city markets. It's just like this outside market in Kenya that sells all these bracelets and jewelry, and just really talented craftsmen and people that I feel like are a lot like me. And so it like the intention wasn't for it to resonate with people like beyond Kenya, but even getting a wider Kenyan audience meant so much to me, because most of my audience had been in Toronto and people I'd gone to undergrad with, so that meant a lot to me. I hosted my first creative open house last year.
What's that?
Yeah, so that's basically an event where I had a lot of people asking me, can I do photography for you for Village, or can I model for you for Village? And I wasn't doing shoots frequently enough to like say yes to everyone who wanted to do that. So I came up with the idea to invite every photographer I know, every model I know, and every stylist I know to kind of come together and create. So it's kind of like a networking event / picnic, clothing swap, and an opportunity to actually make and create art. So it's like I display my collection and let whoever wants to take photos of it take photos. But then also other stylists who want, who don't have models, or a photographer, and photographers who don't have subject matter, and models who don't have stylists or photographers, just like really bringing them together and wanting just like young and upcoming artists to have an opportunity to collaborate.
Wait, you mentioned that you're always inspired, right? Or like, can you give me like an example?
I think I'm outside all the time. I find inspiration in little things a lot. So I try, again, not to be too inspired by the internet, because then it just becomes this like feedback loop of like everyone producing the same things. And so I go to a lot of old people homes out in, there's some in Richmond.
Okay.
And there's some in Burnaby, and I'll like volunteer in those. The way old people dress is so different because they haven't had that internet thing crossed of like seeing how the world dresses.
Yeah.
They just dress like themselves, and that's what
Yeah.
I want to see people doing. And so I'm inspired by that quite heavily. I'm inspired by the music I listen to. I think, yeah. So I'm inspired outside of fashion by a lot of other forms of artistry. Painting a lot, because a lot of my clothes are quite colorful, and so I try to consume a lot of like painting and go to a lot of galleries to understand just like pattern and how patterns go together. But I think the real answer is just being outside all the time and looking for things in my real life as opposed to online.
Yeah, that's crazy, because when I started the podcast, right, I literally, it was like a New Year's resolution for me. I was like, okay, when this year starts, I'm gonna stop wearing headphones. I'm gonna start going outside, walking as much as possible, and just like paying attention to what's going on around me. And like, I don't know, because of that, I literally just got this idea. I was like, okay, damn. And also, you know, I like how you go to old people. That's a different one. For me, it was talking to people. Like, you know, I'm still young, you know. I wouldn't say I was very sheltered, but like I wasn't very aware of what was going on in the world. So I used to enjoy talking to different people, like mostly my friends. Like that was like, okay, damn. If these guys are the people that are like inspiring me, why not, you know, interview people my age, and then that could maybe inspire other people. Because literally my whole the people that I aim to that I aim to interview are people our age.
Yeah.
Right. So because I feel like we are the future, right? And if we are the future, why not work together to, you know, better ourselves? That's my thing. But I really like that you caught me off guard with the old people thing. That's cool as well. What's the most interesting story from like an old people?
Everyone's so sweet. Everyone's so kind. I ask them about their outfits all the time and what they wear. A lot of them will just bitch about their grandchildren. And it's like, okay.
What, they're not coming to visit them?
They don't come to visit them, no.
Damn. I think that's the dilemma of every old person. I hope that doesn't happen to me. Damn. No, that's crazy. Okay. I like that. What about the future? What do you have planned for the future?
So for the future, I want to continue to do the open houses, both in Toronto and in Vancouver. And then I also want to get more into film and direction. I'm planning to make my first feature-length film in December when I go back to Kenya. Because right now I'm doing more like shorter length and more like non-linear storytelling, whereas I want to do one that's like at least 30 minutes. Still very fashion focused, and like similar format to how I've already been doing film, but more with like a storyline. So like writing the screenplay for it and having actual like lines and trying to get my models to be actors and seeing what that transition is like. I want to create longer forms of media that will like outlast TikTok and outlast like short form media.
Yeah. How do you feel about stuff like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram?
It's fun.
It's fun?
It's fun. I can't be here like, oh, I hate the internet, you know, because it's like, it is my platform.
Yeah.
And it is a place for inspiration if you're also like supplementing it with your real life. Yeah.
Wait, so what advice do you have like for people? Because like you said before, right, because everyone watches the same content, there's like a high chance that everyone's gonna have the same idea. So what advice do you have for people that are like out there that want to maybe be different or stick out?
Never look at your For You page and think, I'm the only one who's seen this video. Like, I'll have people literally in my real life, like, say a joke or say things, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I saw that, too.
Yeah, same.
And I hate that stuff so
Wait, you said you saw the same video that I saw?
much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so never think your internet is unique, because it's not. It's not unique, and it's built to trick you into thinking it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you think there should be like a change in the way that we like use it, like for our daily lives or the way that we like work with our businesses or stuff like that, or our passion projects?
Yeah, I can't be a preacher because I use it so much.
Okay,
That I can't even be.
You be doom scrolling.
Me
too. Me too. No, you know what? Today, like, I woke up, right? I woke up, this might be embarrassing. I woke up confused because the first thing I did was I looked at TikTok and it was like so much. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on, right? But anyways, that's just doesn't matter.
I'll
But
get my screen time and I'm like, something has got to change.
What's the range?
I'm not gonna say.
Come
No,
on.
that's
Okay, wait.
too embarrassing.
Let's just exchange. I'll show you mine. can't be that bad.
It is. It is.
Okay, what's a bad screen time for you?
Where do you even go to it?
Settings. Then you go to you go down to screen times by notifications. Side. Where is it? Yeah. Same.
Oh, twins.
Yeah, crazy. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. If she's saying this is bad, it's not that bad. But yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. That's great. I like how you've essentially found your own way through using, I guess, the past. That's actually that's the inspiration, right? The past and whatever you see in front of you. Because what you've got first was at a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see you like the sea?
I got this actually at an old people's home. They do these they do sales. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with your clothing, right? You said I've forgotten the name of the designer.
Jean-Paul Gaultier?
Yeah. So what about his work inspires you?
It's so focused on women. Even though a man originated it, I've read a lot of the way that he speaks about women and the lens that he views it, and you can tell he grew up in an all-women's household and is catering to just female gaze. It's queer. It's very gay in community and how the clothes are made and who the clothes are catered to. And so that is interesting to me as well. I think it's also very universal. He draws also from a lot of different cultures and is not just a Western perspective.
That's cool. She, thank you so much. I think that's all.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
You did well. You actually did very good.
Thank you.
This is your first time?
Yeah.
Well, you're used to being on camera?
No. That's why I like the other girls to be on camera and for me to have the camera.
But it's good. I feel like even if you don't, it's important that you share, because there's so many people out there. Even myself, right? When I tell you I was a lost child when I first came to this country, I was like, yo, what the hell was going on? And because I met people that actually had a vision, or they were asking questions. Wait, do you ask questions? You ask a lot of questions about what's going on in life? Yeah. So that encouraged me to start asking questions, and now I'm here. But yeah, it's crazy. Thank you so much.
Of course. That was shorter than I thought it'd be. I thought it would be too much, but yeah, that was nice.
Actually, I decided that I don't want to do videos that are an hour.
Yeah.
Because myself, if I see a podcast that's an hour, I'm putting that shit on 2x and I'm not actually listening. Mm-hmm. So I was okay, if I can at least get it, let's say maybe between 30 minutes and 20. That's a good range where someone will be okay, this is manageable.
Yeah.
And also I don't want to do the last video that I did, I ended up adding games, which I didn't really want to add, but it's just for the attention. See, so because of this social media stuff, you really need to get out of what do you actually want to do.
I've been thinking about that too, because a lot of my stuff I'll use Kenyan music when I do the video stuff, and I know that if I put a viral sound or a Western sound or Pace Top 100, they the videos would all do better. I can't. It's too painful for me. It just is not gonna work.
It's not authentic. You know? In fact, I think the reason why I decided I was talking to my mom, and I was telling her I was like, yo, bro, this shit is crazy. In order for you to actually be something, you need to follow everyone else. But I was like, and then she was like, no, bro, authentic always wins. No matter what, you're still going to be there because there's people that like you for whatever you've got going on, Unlike the trends. It's a trend for maybe 2 days, then it's done.